On November 7, 2006, Southend United fans rammed Roots Hall to watch their team face off against Manchester United in the fourth round of the League Cup. I doubt many fans expected what was to come next, when Freddie Eastwood scored a 30-yard free kick in the first half to win the game 1-0. So, let's see if the Man United starting 11 were too demoralised to further their careers, or did they end up becoming one of the greatest of all time? Thomas Kuczak. The Polish goalkeeper was only on loan at United when he conceded Freddie Eastwood's marvellous free kick in 2006, but he was signed permanently at the end of the season, where he spent another 5 years as the backup keeper. He made 48 appearances in his 5 permanent years at the club before being released in 2012. Later that month he joined Brighton, where he made 84 appearances in 2 years before being released in 2014. He then had a brief season-long spell at Wolves, making 13 appearances in the Championship, before joining Birmingham City in 2015, where he spent the final 4 years of his career, making 92 appearances for the Championship sides, before hanging up the gloves in 2019. Gabriel Heinze. The Argentinian left-back wasn't at the Red Devils for very long after this defeat, trying to force a move away to Liverpool the following summer before eventually joining Real Madrid on a 4-year deal. He left halfway through his contract to join League One side Marseille in 2009, spending 2 years at the French side, making 75 appearances before being released at the end of the 2010-2011 season. He joined Roma, made 32 appearances and was released with immediate effect at the end of the season, retiring aged 34. He then went into coaching, managing in Argentina for 5 years at 3 different sides. He then joined MLS side Atlanta United in 2020 before being sacked within 7 months. He has now been manager of Newell's Old Boys for the past 4 months. Wes Brown. Only 3 Man United players won both Champions League in Ferguson's tenure: Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs and Wes Brown. Brown remained in Manchester until 2011 when he joined Sunderland. He spent 5 years at the Mackem side, where he struggled with injury, making 87 appearances. In September 2016 he joined Blackburn Rovers, not making an appearance until 3 months later. His time at Blackburn was spent regaining fitness and giving advice to youth players. He then moved to Indian side Kerala Blasters in August 2017, making 15 appearances, retiring at the end of the season. Mikhail Sylvester. Sylvester was a regular starter for Man United until he broke his metatarsal and dislocated his shoulder in 2007, and he never returned to full fitness and couldn't break back into the side. In August 2008, he joined Arsenal for an undisclosed fee, making his debut 2 months later before playing 42 more times for the London side before being released in 2010. He joined Werder Bremen, where he spent 2 seasons playing 31 times, before going to the MLS with Portland Timbers in 2013, playing 8 times. He then moved to Chennai 8 months after being released from Portland Timbers, making 14 appearances before retiring. Since then he's been director of football with Rennes, where he spent 1.5 years, and now has his own agency which he launched in December 2021, which represents athletes and young talents in sport. John O'Shea. This Irish fullback spent 12 years of his career at Man United, making just under 400 appearances, and seemed to perform consistently up until he left in 2011 for Sunderland, just like Wes Brown. He played over 250 times for the Black Cats, but still oversaw 2 back-to-back relegations, sending them down to League One. In June 2018, O'Shea joined Reading on a 1-year contract, making only 11 appearances, but going out aged 38 with a Guard of Honour from both sets of players in May 2019. O'Shea spent another 2 seasons with Reading as first-team coach, as well as becoming the Ireland national team's assistant manager in April 2020. Last summer, O'Shea joined Stoke City as first-team coach. Kieran Richardson. Richardson made roughly 50 appearances for the Red Devils after this loss, before being sent out to Sunderland, where he spent 6 seasons becoming a fan favourite and making 149 appearances. He then spent 2 seasons at Fulham and another 2 at Aston Villa, before in 2016 signing for Championship club Cardiff, where he made 6 appearances and retired aged 33 at the end of the season. Darren Fletcher. Fletcher is quite a forgotten United midfielder. He spent 8 years at the club after their defeat, and was a first-team regular up until the 2011-12 season, but still has a Champions League medal in his cabinet. He then had to step down from football temporarily to undergo a surgery due to health reasons in 2013. However, he quickly returned to football. In February 2015, he signed for West Brom on a free transfer, being given the captaincy, playing every minute of Premier League football until October, and this was only 2 years after being forced into retirement due to needing surgery for a bowel condition. In June 2017, Fletcher joined Stoke City, where he spent 2 years, making 42 appearances. When he retired, Fletcher wanted to go into management, becoming coach of the United's under-16s teams in 2020, being promoted to first-team coach 2 months later, and he is now the club's technical director and has been for nearly 2 years. David Jones, probably a player Alex Ferguson forgets even played for him. He made 4 appearances in 4 years for United before being shipped out to Derby County in 2006, where he spent 2 seasons being part of the embarrassing 2007-8 campaign where Derby picked up 11 points in the league. He then signed for Championship Wolves in 2008, where he spent 3 years making 76 appearances before the expiration of his contract in 2011. 3 months later, after leaving Wolves, he joined Premier League side Wigan, making 35 appearances in 2 seasons and also being shipped out to Blackburn on loan in his 2nd season. Afterwards, he spent 4 seasons at Burnley, making 131 appearances for Sean Dyche's Brexit army. In August 2016, he joined Sheffield Wednesday, making 66 appearances, and ended up at Oldham in League Two. And he's now at Wrexham as a player-coach after a successful trial, aged 38. Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously the greatest player to play in this match, CR7 has had as I'm sure you're all aware of, a fairly illustrious career since this fateful November evening. I don't think losing this game got him down too much, considering he went on to win 3 successive Premier Leagues, another League Cup, a Champions League, a Golden Boot and a Ballon d'Or before quitting the Mancunian side only 3 years later to join Los Blancos. His career with the Spanish side won him 2 league titles, 2 cups, 4 Champions Leagues, 8 other trophies, 3 Golden Boots and another 4 Ballon d'Ors, as well as scoring more goals than games played in his 9 years at the club. He then went to Juventus, won 2 league titles, returned to Manchester, went out disgracefully, and is now playing in the middle of a Saudi desert, earning just shy of £200 million a year, and during that time he also won the Euros and Nations League with Portugal. Wayne Rooney. I'm sure you've all heard of this Scouser. Now, in the almost 17 years it's been since this glorious night, Rooney's won 5 league titles, 4 cups, and a Champions League with the Red Devils. Also, he's become England's record goal scorer, before Kane overtook him. He then left for Everton in 2018, where he netted 11 in 40 games before dipping out to DC, where another Rooney hit the headlines in 2019 for the infamous Wagatha Christie case. He then moved to Derby County in a Rio Ferdinand QPR type move, where he played poor, getting given the manager's job, got them relegated, and he's now back at DC United, where he's their manager, and since joining in July, he's barely won a game. Alan Smith. Only a few months before this match, Smith was aimed to be Van Nistelrooy's replacement, but after this game he fell out of favour and dealt with injury, leaving in August 2007 for Newcastle. He spent 5 years with the Geordies, and he started well with the goal on his debut before falling out of favour and struggling with injury again, being released in 2012. In his last season with Newcastle, he joined MK Dons on a short-term loan, where he scored twice in 18 games. A month after being released by Newcastle, he joined MK Dons on a 2-year deal, where he scored once in 65 games before his release in May 2014. He's quickly snapped up as a player coach by Notts County, making 107 appearances and temporarily being caretaker manager in 2017, before being released at the end of the 2017-18 season. So, there you have it. Some of these players went on to win 5 Ballon d'Ors, whereas others became a Wrexham player coach. Thanks for watching, and subscribe so you can be one of the first to be subscribed to the future Red Play button holder.